of years ago, the internet was introduced to the concept of an AI influencer. An influencer who is 100% fake and either their entire image or just their voice or some other part of them is computer generated or AI generated. Sometimes they post photos, sometimes they post videos, sometimes they make music, and every single one of them is bad. All of them are garbage. Despite what the companies behind these influencers want you to think, this is not trying to push the boundaries of technology. They're not trying to innovate a new way to entertain you, they're trying to replace human influencers. But I will say, it's not going very well. The two that fascinate me the most I was introduced to by videos from Jarvis Johnson, I'm sure you know him, and both of them are singers. Now, don't get me wrong, digital persona singers can be very well done. Look at Hatsune Miku, look at KDA, look at the Caramella girls. All of them have so much love and effort put into them. But look at these, and then look at these. Now, since these videos a few years ago, we haven't really seen that much from Nunori or Polar. Nunori is still active on Instagram. I don't know why I'm talking about her like she's a real person. The company that made her still posts AI generated pictures of her, of course. She had a collaboration with Barbie, but for the most part, her social media is just AI slop. While Polar is posting these. Now, Nunori has her likes hidden and the amount of engagement on Polar's account is not great, and so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I feel confident enough to deem both of these a flop. Nunori is a flop to me just because her account uses AI, and Polar, just look at her. The reason that I think that they failed is because they're appealing to the wrong audience. KDA appeals to gamers, Hatsune Miku appeals to anime and manga fans. But these two are just trying to appeal to a general social media audience, people who watch Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts and buy anything that an influencer says is an Amazon must-have. They're trying to appeal to so-called normies who already worship influencers and singers, but these people aren't interested in animated computer-generated influencers because they already have their real influencers. Instead, I believe that they need to shift their focus. They need to go all in on the suspension of disbelief and fantasy elements that the medium of computer animation provides. We need to stop pretending that these girls are supposed to be virtual influencers in a human world, like they're girls just like us, because we already have influencers who are girls just like us. Instead, we need to embrace the fact that they are fictional and virtual if we want them to stand out. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, they're just ugly. They're just both not very nice to look at. And as an enjoyer of both music and fictional girls, we can't have that. However, first, I want to take the opportunity to talk about this video sponsor and fellow enjoyer of virtual girls, Girls Frontline 2 Exilium. Girls Frontline 2 is a 3D strategy and skill turn-based RPG made in this beautiful style that combines these cute girls with a high-tech post-apocalyptic setting. Don't be fooled by their exteriors though, these girls are your tactical dolls. The dolls are animated with non-photorealistic rendering, or NPR, while the environments use physically based rendering, or PBR. So that's how even with these real-world lighting physics, the girls look so good. Your tactical dolls will make up your team for battling enemies and completing missions. Equip them with the proper weapons to maximize each doll's unique capabilities like tanking, supporting, or dealing large amounts of damage. This game is strategy first and foremost, and you're rewarded for using the terrain to your advantage to get the upper hand over your opponents. When you've won your battle, make sure to reward your dolls for their hard work by giving them a visit in the dormitory, where you can change their outfits, unlock new animations, and take pictures with them. This update brings us the banner for Vector, this stunning, gorgeous doll, a powerful support who can pack a punch herself. She buffs burn-type teams, allowing you to deal big damage to multiple or single targets, making her a must-have for any account. Plus, by completing in-game achievements, you can receive this super cute outfit for Vector, Molotov Bunny. Coincidentally, this update also introduces accessories for your dolls, which you can mix and match with your outfits as you see fit. The accessories, as well as the outfit, can also be purchased in the gift box Vivi Sometimes Hides Her Molotovs, which for a limited time will be available at a discount. A new limited time event for GFL2 will also be available throughout May, Escape from Cyborg. Participating in the event will reward you with collapsed pieces and targeted access permissions or summons, which I know I will be spending all of mine on this beautiful Lady Vector. In addition to these rewards, participating in this event will also give you this super cute outfit for Kolfna, who is a support healer. And there is so much more to discover in Girls Frontline 2 Exilium, and the best part is that it's available on both desktop and on mobile. So if you're interested in checking it out, make sure to click the download link in the description or visit any one of their official social medias. And if you're watching this video when it releases, make sure you participate in the Escape from Cyborg event before the end of May to receive all of these amazing rewards. Thank you so much again to Girls Frontline 2 Exilium for sponsoring this video. And now back to the topic of some significantly worse designed virtual girls. Now, going into this, I knew that I wanted these two to be a duo, I wanted them to be a girl group. There was actually supposed to be a third weird AI influencer that I was going to redesign, but say it with me, I ran out of time. But first is Nunori, who really does not have a lot going for her. She is even less interesting to look at than Polar, and we are deep in the uncanny valley with this one, like Mariana Trench levels deep. These recent AI-generated pictures of her have made her less horrifying to look at recently, but trust me, her original 3D model was strange. It was a little strange. I know that's mean, but it was a little strange. I get that her big eyes are supposed to emulate a doll, but I think this is a little too far. I actually hadn't seen her in a bit because I don't go out of my way to look for Nunori content, so I did not know that she had changed from this weird plasticky blue hair to photorealistic dark black hair. And while I think that this looks better, I still won't say that it looks good, because that would be a lie. I will say, however, that some of her more recent looks are interesting to look at, and not necessarily in a negative way. Specifically, this outfit that was posted on an article somewhere, I'm not really gonna go read it, it's giving a little bit of a 2000s moment. Minus the bag, but the hat and the jacket, okay, I am seeing a fragment of a vision, a small piece, maybe. And of course, once I had 2000s in my brain, I had to lean into Y2K. And so her physical appearance didn't change that much. I kept her haircut with the blunt bangs, as well as her big doll-like eyes. I just toned them down a little bit. I feel like they fit my style a little bit better than the photorealistic style that they're going for. But for her outfit, I went full 2000s pop star. I was thinking Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. I also thought about leaning more Gyaru, but I did not end up going that route. The Gyaru influence did stay though in the form of her nails, of course. I'd also had a bit of a strange idea. I really wanted to lean away from the idea that these two are just real girls who happen to be virtual, and instead I wanted to give them fantasy elements. Going back to KDA, they're a virtual band from League of Legends, and as much as I loathe League of Legends, I love KDA with my whole heart. And the members of KDA are fantasy races. Ari is a nine-tailed fox. I'm like 70% sure that Evelyn is a demon. And so I decided to make Nunori an angel. Mostly because she was kind of reminding me of Stalking from Panty and Stocking. And also I thought she needed something else going on her head, and so I was like, hey, why not make her ears wings? Why not? A carton of eggs costs $7. I can give her wings if I want to. So now, Nunori is a Y2K angel Gyaru pop star, instead of whatever this is. The original Nunori has absolutely no personality to speak of, at least from scrolling her Instagram very briefly. She is an influencer who posts pictures and videos and poses with brands, and that's it. Which is giving very much materialistic. So I decided to lean into that and make her a bit of a diva. She's rich, she's talented, she's popular on Earth, she can buy whatever she wants, and she knows it, just look at her. I believe that it is very beneficial for a character design when you can look at a character and know some of their personality traits just by how they look. In real life, judging a book by its cover is not great, would not recommend. But for character design, visual storytelling is very important. The first thing you see of a character is their design. And when you're an influencer, having a personal style that's distinct is very important. I say, like I would know. And so if they really want Nunori to look like an influencer, she has to look like she would influence. Especially on visual media-based platforms like Instagram and TikTok, the first thing you see is often somebody's outfit. It can tell you a lot about them, and loads of people have followings just from posting things like outfit of the days because their styles are unique. You can't just design an AI influencer by copying whatever's popular, because don't you want your influencer to be a trendsetter and not a trend follower? Especially when she's a singer-songwriter, allegedly, because then not only do you want her to be an influencer, you want her to be a celebrity. And celebrities get famous and stay famous for a reason. And of course, Nunori is already at a disadvantage for being digital and primarily consisting of AI, because what is the point? Why would you want to look at her content? Unless you're literally just a brainless zombie consuming mindless slop on Instagram, Nunori gives you no reason for you to want to be influenced by her, and she's supposed to be an influencer. The fact that a lot of her pictures on Instagram now are AI generated also says a lot about the company that runs this account. Whoever it is, I'm not gonna look it up. Who in the world genuinely wants to be marketed to and influenced by something that doesn't even have a style at all? At least when she was a 3D model, she was made by somebody. Somebody had to make decisions about how she looked and what she wore. But leaving all of that up to a computer just completely takes out the human aspect of it. And who wants to be influenced to by something non-human? People love virtual characters like KDA and Hatsune Miku because they have human love and care put into them. And not to toot my own horn, but in my opinion, me taking the time to design an outfit for her and put thought into what she would wear already gives her more of a personality than anything on her Instagram. But I've done enough ranting. Here is Nunori redesigned. I think her music would be very similar to, like I said, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and she carries around a little flip phone with a cheetah print case. Now, Polar is arguably the funnier one of the two, whereas Nunori is just kind of sad for being AI slop. Polar is just a blatant Hatsune Miku ripoff. There is absolutely no way they were not trying to capitalize on the popularity of Hatsune Miku. She's made by the people who make 5-minute crafts. This is what they do. She started out pretty much the same as Nunori, a virtual influencer who makes mediocre music. Now I think on her Instagram, she just posts like TikTok skits. Once again, I'm saying this like she's a real person for some reason. But unlike Nunori's initial design, I think that Polar's concept is a little bit interesting. I think we can work with this. Now, why she's named Polar, I have literally no idea. But I will say it kind of sounds like it's supposed to be an acronym for something, even though it's definitely not. So I decided to take that and run with it, and now she is an android, robot, cyborg, whatever you want to call it. She is an alien slash robot from a different planet, and her name is an acronym, POLAR, which now stands for Projection of Lyrical Audio Resonance. Do not ask me how long it took me to come up with that. Plus, I figured that since I decided to lean into Y2K with Nunori, I could lean into Y3K with Polar. That would play into the alien, futuristic, robot thing she's got going on now. Do you see how legitimately easy it is to take something made to be slop, made to make money, and just turn it into a interesting concept with literally just a little bit of tweaking? I am hardly changing anything about their physical design, their face, their body type, nothing. I'm giving them some new outfits and a little bit of personality. And I know that some of you may be biased, but legitimately, which one would you rather see content of on your feed on Instagram? Once again, the reason why KDA works and these girls just don't is because KDA was made with love by humans and character designers, whereas Nunori was made by AI and Polar was made to make money off of little kids who watch 5-minute crafts. Which sucks, because Polar genuinely has some interesting concepts that I think deserve to be explored upon further. Even though they definitely did it to save on the cost of animating a lip sync, I think that her mask is a pretty cool design choice. I think that a character only being able to emote with one part of their face, in this case her eyes, forces the animators to push her expressions further. They don't, but they probably should. I think that they understood this, which is why they mostly kept her forehead clear. So she has a middle part with bangs that drop straight down. So I did pretty much the same thing, kept her hair out of her forehead so that her eyes would be able to emote. I also kept her teal, green, turquoise hair. Even though it is encroaching on the territory of our queen, I don't really think it would be Polar without it. And more often than not, Miku's hair tends to lean blue, so I tinted Polar's hair a little bit more green. The color of her hair actually changes a bit between photos and videos, so sometimes she does have this more seafoam green color, which I do think works really well with the Y3K thing we've got going on. Blue and green are cool tones and, you know, very future-y. And I think it contrasts Nunori's browns and blues very well. As you can probably tell, I think that Polar would lean into more electronic pop music. I'm not gonna listen to either of their music for this video. I've heard enough. So I'm just making stuff up. And if it's this easy for one person to come up with interesting ideas for these characters, how is an entire company, Nunori is signed with Warner Music, by the way, how is an entire company not able to do anything more interesting than posting AI generated slop? I know Warner Music isn't specifically responsible for what she posts on her Instagram, but still. Anyways, similar to Nunori originally, Polar dressed just like a teen girl. I actually went pretty minimal with her outfit, mostly because I ran out of time. But a design doesn't have to be over the top in order to convey something about the character. I think that I still personally prefer Nunori's new design, but I do really like how Polar turned out as well. Here is our projection of lyrical audio resonance. She's from a planet very far away, and she's very excited to perform here on Earth for you. I feel like literally every single time I finish a video, I'm like, there's another design I wanted to include, but I ran out of time. Because it's always true. This time I didn't literally run out of time, but I just could not think of what I wanted to do for the third design. So you'll never get to see it. Let me know what you think of these weird AI influencers. Do you think that any of them are ever going to be successful? When will companies realize that this is not what consumers want to see? But I suppose they wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't make any money, so I'm sure that they're making something. Thank you so much to the people who paid for my emergency lung transplant after I was diagnosed with ligma. My $10 patrons, Puntastic Artist, Little Wolfine, Vioon, Gar, Zigo Buzz, Wishing Star, Speckadoodle, Billy Lover, Neko Jack, and Tyree West. As well as all of my other patrons, all of my subscribers, everybody who watches this video, everybody who likes and comments. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. I post every 2 weeks, allegedly. And if you're not new, make another Google account and subscribe again. If I do not hit 100K in the next 10 minutes, I will be quitting YouTube forever. Time is ticking! Thanks so much to Girls Frontline 2 Exilium for sponsoring this video. Make sure to go check out the game by clicking the link in the description. I am LUCKYINKIIO, youtube.com/@inkiio. That's me, and I will see you reasonably soon.